Hey there, I'm Simone. Thanks for joining me today. In this class, we're going to be working on some cross body movement patterns, things like this. These are movements that we don't typically do a lot of in yoga, but I find really helpful for engaging myofascia in ways that we don't typically engage it. So check it out, enjoy, let me know how it feels in your body. I really love these types of movements and would love for you to experiment with them as well. So let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying these classes, and I will meet you on the mat in a moment.
And the fascia is just such an amazing thing. And what's so beautiful in my mind about yoga is that yoga is really working. We're really working with the fascia in a way that many of us don't realize. So the fascia is all of our connective tissue. It runs everywhere in our body, and it literally connects everything. And so what I was thinking about this morning about this was how our own bodies are like a little model of the universe. Yeah, every single cell in our body is connected to every single other cell in our body through our fascia. And so as we move and stretch, our cells are moved and stretched. So on a cellular level, we are affecting how our body functions. And we do this in our yoga practice without realizing it. Yeah, we feel certain sensations, right, that our nervous system is picking up on and telling our brain, I'm stretching this part of my body, etc. But really, all of those cells are affected when we move. And when we move our body, what's brilliant about this, and this is new research that I don't know a lot about, I hope to learn more about this in the future, is that as those cells stretch, it actually affects what part of the DNA is exposed. And so by moving and stretching our body, we actually play a role in which of our genes are being expressed. This is called epigenetics. And it's like now at the very forefront of movement research. And so through our yoga practice, we are actually affecting our gene expression. And this is amazing. This is like everything. So, we've all heard that we can't change our genes. We're born with what we have, but we can change how our genes are being expressed through the way we move our bodies. And I'm just so excited about this. So I had to share it with you guys this morning. And when we think about this, you've probably heard movement is medicine. I say it all the time, yoga is medicine, but this is like the real scientific evidence of how yoga is a physical medicine for the body. All right, so I'm really excited about that. If you want to leave your cameras on, feel free to leave your cameras on. If you want to turn them off, that's also fine as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and come up to a nice, tall, seated position. And feel free to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And allowing yourself to come into your seated position, sitting bones rooting down towards the floor. Crown of the head lengthening up towards the ceiling, and allowing the breath to flow here in and out through the nose. And as we start to go a little deeper inwards, we begin to align ourselves. Getting all of our tissues, all of our cells together. The whole body operates as a unified whole. And there is no disconnection. Whatever disconnection we believe there is an illusion. The reality is unification, is oneness. And the more we come into our practice fully, the more we embody that, the more we begin to experience that fully. And we'll go ahead and bring our hands together in front of our hearts. And we'll inhale here all together for the sound of a single Om. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale and release. Inhaling. Exhaling and releasing your hands. Softening the muscles of your face and your forehead as you let your eyes open. Good, and we're gonna stay sitting for now. So I recommend going ahead and changing the crossing of your legs. And if you're not already sitting up on some height, then definitely come to sit up on some height now. And feeling the sitting bones root down towards the floor, we'll start by taking the arms out to the sides. And then rotating the palms to face up, take the arms up and over the head, interlock the fingers and press up through the palms of the hands. And really lengthening the sides of the waist, feel your shoulder blades even lift towards your ears slightly. Breathing here. And then releasing the interlock of the fingers, keep the arms lifted. Taking the right arm out to the side, start to lift the left arm up and over. So side bending towards the right. And use your right hand to keep your left sitting bone heavy into the floor. Good, and then we'll inhale and come back up. And exhale and release that arm. And you can give your shoulders a little roll in either direction. And then we're going to do that again. Taking the arms out to the sides, rotate the palms to face up. Take the arms up and over your head. This time, see if you can interlock the hands the way that feels a bit awkward. Pressing the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the side body. And then releasing the interlock of the fingers, keep lifting up. Taking the left hand to the side, stretching that right arm up and over. Good, and really reaching through the fingertips, use your left hand to keep the right sitting bone heavy to the floor. And then we'll inhale and come back up and exhale and release. Good, and again, give your shoulders a little roll here. And then we're gonna do this one more time, a little bit different this time. Inhale, take the arms straight up. Don't interlock this time, just lift up. And then we're going to exhale and start to rotate towards the left. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Taking the right hand towards the left knee. You can either take the back of the hand to the knee, or you can hold that knee or thigh with the palm. And then as you twist towards the left, we're going to exhale and then start to side bend over to the right. So you're using the hand on the knee to almost try to draw your breastbone through a little further, lengthening up and over, feeling expansion through the side body, the side ribs, and then inhaling back up and exhale and release. And again, a little roll to the shoulders, and then the other side. Inhale, lift, Exhale, start to rotate towards the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate either back of the hand to the knee or holding that knee. Inhale, come up, and exhale as you start to bend over. Good. Feeling that whole side body lengthen, side ribs lengthen. Reach up and over. Draw the breastbone through. One more breath. And then inhale back up and exhale to release. A little roll to the shoulders. Okay, stay seated. I want you now, I'm just going to show you what this looks like from behind. I want you now to hold your right wrist behind your back and pull that down towards the floor. Okay, so pull that down towards the floor. Pull the right wrist down, and then take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Good, so lengthening the side of the neck now. And then I want you to see if you can take your nose towards your armpit. So nose drops down and lengthening now a little bit more into the back of the neck as you do this. And then we'll come back up, release the wrist, little shake that out. And then other side, holding the left wrist behind the back, pull that down towards the floor and taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then taking the nose towards the armpit. Good. Taking a few breaths there. And then we'll inhale to come back up and exhale to release. Good, you can shake it out a little bit or roll the shoulders, and then we'll make our way up onto our hands and our knees. And if your knees are sensitive, feel free to have your blanket for underneath your knees, starting to work through some cat and cow. Inhale to lengthen and open, and exhale to tuck and round. And inhale to lengthen and open, and exhale to tuck and round. Good, and just a couple more like that, going nice and slow, feeling that expansion and release. Good, and then if you want to do some circles, feel free to move your hips, allow your body to just move in a way that feels organic and circular. And then switching directions. Shoulders move, hips move, rib cage is rotating around, and then coming back towards center. Good. We're going to walk the hands a little further forwards or walk the knees a little further back. Hinge back with your toes tucked under, and then hinge forwards. And hinge back and hinge forwards. And as you hinge back, you can even almost have like a little pulse there. Almost like you're creating that tiny bit of momentum through that back, that hinge back. Good. And then we'll hinge back and we'll stay. Take the right arm out to the side, come onto the right fingertips, reach that left arm across and over. And then press those fingertips into the floor, almost rotate and open towards the side, body lengthening that left side waist. Good, hips are high. You could take the head to the floor if that feels good. It feels better for me not to right now. And then we'll walk the hands back to center, take a couple hinges here. And then we'll take it over to the other side. So left fingers out to the side, elbow points towards the ceiling, stretch that right arm across and over. Good, and almost like you're rotating open towards the left side. Good, one more breath. And then we'll slowly come back towards center. Take a couple hinges. And then we'll come back and up to downward facing dog. You can go ahead and Straighten out the right leg as you bend into the left knee and pause and just breathe there as if you can breathe into the back of that leg. And then go ahead and switch sides. And then lifting both the heels up high, lift the right leg up and back. We're gonna step that right foot forward through the hands, come down onto the left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Holding the left wrist lifted up, take it over to the right. Trying to firm the belly in, puff up the lower back ribs. And then we're gonna come back up to center. Exhale, take the left hand out to the side in line with the left knee and start to reach that right arm up and over. Good, so trying to keep the legs where they are as you lengthen now through that side body. And then exhale, start to bring the fingertips towards the floor, really go out on a diagonal. And then we're gonna inhale, rotate through the rib cage, start to open the chest, open that armpit, reach way back behind you. Good, and then we'll exhale again and start to roll down. Lengthen out to that side. And then inhale and roll through the rib cage, open the chest, reach up and back. And then one more time, take it down. Lengthen side body. And then inhale and back up. Good, and we'll pause here just for a couple breaths. Opening that armpit up to the ceiling, push the floor away. And then we'll take that hand back down, reach it out towards the side. And you can take now the right arm out a little further so the arms are straight. And we're gonna try to hinge forward slightly and then exhale and hinge back slightly. And inhale and hinge forward slightly and exhale and hinge back. And just work through that a couple of times. And your leg probably won't get straight as you hinge back. Yeah, we're putting a little extra challenge in by having this combo of hinge and side body lengthening. Good. And then we'll hinge forward, start to walk the hands forwards. You can have the hands on either side of the front foot. Now let's go ahead and make the lunge a little longer. Inhale and open. And exhale and hinge back. So now we're just doing our regular hinge. Inhale, hinge forwards, exhale, hinge back. Good. Taking that a few more times here. And then the next time we hinge back, we'll stay. Try to keep those right toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna walk the hands over to the right side of the ankle or the foot. Good, and keep drawing that thigh bone back into the hip socket to the best of your ability. And then we'll come forwards again. Bend into the front knee, start to straighten out that back leg, put the heel down on the floor, keep that right knee above the ankle or moving towards that baby toe side of the foot. You start to walk the hands over to that top left corner of the mat. Good, draw the hips back, lengthen, draw the arms into the shoulder sockets. Back leg is strong. And then we'll walk around to the front, plant into the hand, step back and come to downward facing dog. Inhale as you come forwards to plank, taking the knees to the floor, exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten and exhale to hinge back. So again, working through this hinging action with the elbow bend, trying to send the shoulder blades away from the ears. Good, and then we'll come all the way down onto the belly, reaching the arms out in front of you, lengthen yourself as much as you can. Inhale as you start to peel your chest open, draw your hands back and find your W-shaped arm position, and then sweep the hands back by the hips and butterfly to the front. And W shape, Hands back and butterfly to the front. And we'll just keep working through that a couple more times. Good. And then the next time we bring the arms forwards, we'll exhale and release. Taking a big breath into the belly. Pressing back through your child's pose and up and back to downward facing dog. Good. Feel free to pedal the feet out a couple times if you'd like. Lifting the left leg up and back. Stepping the left foot forwards through the hands, coming down onto the right knee. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Holding the right wrist lifted up, take it over to the left. Firming the belly in, trying to puff up the lower back ribs. And then we'll inhale as we come up to center, taking the right hand out in line with the right knee, start to reach the left arm up and over to the side. And then exhale as you start to bend forwards, reaching out on that diagonal. And then we'll inhale and peel it up and open the chest and open the arm. And then exhale as we reach back and across. And inhale as we peel open. And exhale as we take it down and across. Good, and one more time. Inhale and peel it open, rolling through the rib cage, open the chest. And exhale, take it down and across. And then we'll peel it open and we'll stay for a couple breaths. Good. Send your hips forward slightly, reach that arm back, armpit lifts, chest lifts, breathing there. And then we'll exhale, start to take that hand down, reach it out to the side, straighten out the right arm, inhale as you hinge forwards, and exhale as you hinge back. And again, just working through that. Try to notice if your knee can stay in line with your toes. So your knee's not wobbling in or out. If it is, then back off a little bit with the side body stretch so you can keep your knee as level with the toes as possible. Good. And then we'll walk the hands back around to the front. You can make your lunge a little longer. Inhale, hinging and opening, and exhaling and hinging back. Inhale, hinging to open, and exhaling to hinge back. And we'll just work through that a couple more times. And then hinging forwards and exhale, hinging back to stay, walking the hands over to the left side of the ankle. Draw that thigh bone back into the hip socket. Breathing there. Couple more breaths. And then walking the hands back around to the inside of the foot. Hinge forward, straighten out the back leg. Putting the back heel down on the floor, hips are heavy, but knee is really in line with the big toes. It's not falling in. Yeah, I'm sending it towards that baby toe side of the foot. Walk the hands over to that top right corner of your mat. Drawing the arm bones into the shoulder sockets. Draw the ribs in, send the hips back, breathing there. And then we'll walk the hands back around to the front, stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhale to come forwards into plank and pause, pressing out into the fingertips, knees to the floor. Exhale to bend the elbows. Inhale to straighten, and exhale to hinge back. And we'll just keep working through that. And then the next time we come forwards, we'll come all the way down onto the belly. Reach the arms out over the head. Make yourself as long as you can. Inhale as you start to peel the chest open. Draw the hands back. Find that W-shaped arm position. Sweep the hands back by the hips and butterfly to the front. And we'll just work through that a few more times. Your forehead can always come to the floor if you don't want to do the back bend. But try to keep the hands above the elbows. And then exhale and release. Big breath into the belly. Pressing back through child's pose and up and back to downward facing dog. Good. Bending the knees deep, look towards the hands. Step or walk the feet forwards. Inhale, lengthen, peel the chest open. Exhale and fold. Inhale as you come all the way up to standing. Lengthen and lift. And then hold your right wrist lifted up, take it over towards the left. Little side bend to the left. Inhale as you come back up, switching wrists, lift up, take it over to the right. Good. Inhale, back up, and exhale to release. Good. Inhale, lengthen, lift the arms up. Exhale as you hinge and fold over your hips. Inhale, long spine, peel the chest open. Exhale, hands down, stepping the right foot back, come down onto the right knee. Point the right toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Okay, now let's see if we can keep the arms lifted and then exhale and hinge back with the hips, come forwards with the arms. Good. From here, inhale, and then exhale, start to reach that left arm back behind you, rotating any amount towards that front leg. Inhale, back to center. Exhale there. Inhale, hinge forwards, lift the arms. And then exhale, take the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forwards to plank and pause. Taking the knees to the floor, exhale to lower all the way to the belly. Keeping the hands where they are. Inhale, baby cobra. Hands lift, elbows draw in, hands draw back. Taking the hands to the floor, pulling your breastbone through your arms, any amount, maybe into upward dog with the gaze forwards, and then knees down, toes tuck under, downward dog. Right leg lifts up and back. Right foot steps forwards through the hands. Left foot steps forwards to meet it. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale it all the way up to standing, arms lift, chest lifts, right away. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, stepping the left foot back, coming down onto the left knee, pointing the left toes. Inhale, arms lift. Okay, now keep the arms lifted. Exhale, see if you can hinge back. Inhale here, and then exhale, see if you can start to open towards that front leg. Inhale, back to center. Exhale there, and then inhale, come forwards into the lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back, downward dog. Good. Finding that slightly longer downward dog. Keeping the gaze towards the back of the mat as you start to shift the body weight forwards, coming to the tips of the toes, and then pointing the toes as you release the hips and peel the chest open. Exhale, scoop the belly in, take the hips up and back. Good, let's do that one more time. Shifting the body weight forwards, push the floor away, draw the breastbone through the arms, and then exhale, lift up and back. Good, bending the knees, look forwards to the hands. Step, walk, or float the feet forwards. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up to standing. Arms lift, chest lifts, lengthen, look up. And exhaling, Samasthiti. Inhale, bending your knees. Sit low, Utkatasana. Exhale, hinge and fold over your thighs. Inhale to peel the chest open. Exhale, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. Lifting the right leg up and back. Stepping the right foot forwards through the hands. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, high lunge. Holding the left wrist lifted up, take it over to the right. Pausing there. Good. Inhale as you come back up to center. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor for a moment. Put the back heel down on the floor. Now, if you have a block, this is where you might use it on the inside of the front foot. So either bringing fingertips to the block or the floor, or forearm to the inner thigh. Take the left hand to the left hip. Start to peel the chest open towards the side wall. Sliding the left hand down the left leg. Rotate through the shoulder. Start to lift that arm up and over. Reaching there through the fingertips. Root that foot strongly into the floor. And then we'll exhale. Take the hand down. Put the block to the side. Make sure the hand's out in front of the shoulder, not directly underneath the shoulder. Lifting the right toes up, rotating to the right. So tucking that left hip underneath the right hip. Right arm lifts up. And then exhale, take that left hip towards the floor, reach for the back foot. And then inhale, lift and reach up and over. And exhale, take it down. And inhale and reach up and over. And one more time, exhale, take it down. And inhale, reach up and over. Taking the hands to the floor, stepping back, downward dog. Pause for a breath. And then if you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can. Good, lifting the left leg up and back. Stepping the left foot forwards through the hands. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, high lunge. Holding the right wrist lifted up, take it over to the left. Trying to firm the belly in and puff up the lower back ribs. Good, pause there for an extra breath. And then coming back up to center. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor. If you have your block and you're using it, take it to the inside of the foot. Put the back heel down on the floor. And then either fingertips to the block or the floor, or forearm to the inner thigh. Right hand to right hip, start to spin the chest open. Sliding the right hand down the thigh, rotate the palm to face up, and then start to take that arm up and over the head. Good, trying to find that long line of energy from the foot all the way through to the fingertips. Breathing there. And then exhale, hand comes down, out in front of the shoulder. Block to the side if you have it. Lift the left toes, rotating to the outer edges of both feet. Left arm lifts, push the floor away. And then exhale, hip releases, reach for the back foot. Inhale, lift the hips, reach over the head. And exhale to lower. And inhale, lift, reach over the head. And exhale, lower. And one more time, inhale, lift, reach over the head. And then hand down, stepping back, downward dog, and pause for a breath. And then if you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can. You don't have to. Good, so meeting in downward dog. Let's bend our knees a little bit. Take both the heels over towards the right, and then start to straighten the legs any amount. You might feel a good stretch through that side body on the left side. Good, and then we'll come back through center, and then take the heels over to the left. Any amount, straighten the legs. You might feel now the right side body. And then we'll come back to center. Bending the knees, look to the hands, step walk or float the feet forwards. Inhale and lengthen, and exhale and fold. Inhale, bending the knees, sit low, arms lift, Utkatasana, and Samastitihi. Inhale, bend the knees, sit low, arms lift, and exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen, peel the chest open. Exhale, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa, your choice. Lifting the right leg up and back, stepping the right foot forwards through the hands, putting the back heel down on the floor, leading with the left arm, standing right up into Virabhadrasana B, warrior B. So hips are heavy. Try to see if you can line up your shoulders directly above your hips. Reach out through the arms. The gaze is wherever feels good in your neck. Breathing there. Rotate the palms to face up. One more full breath here. And then straighten the front leg, lift the arms up and over the head, hook the thumbs. You can heel toe your back foot in a tiny bit. And then we're gonna try to hinge, so practice that hinging from the hips. Right hip draws back, left hip comes forwards. Reach for the front of your mat. Good, now I want you to keep the arms here, but release the hook of the thumbs. Reach through those right fingertips for the front of the mat. Take the left arm up, breathing there. So now really strengthening that right side of the waist to lift and extend. That's it, one more breath. And then exhale. Take the hands down to the floor. Good, so you're on the toes now of that back foot. Plant that left hand a little bit out in front of the left shoulder. And then rotating to the outer edge of the left foot, step the right foot either to the middle of the mat. So now more of a side plank, less of a hip stretch. Either staying here or stacking the feet one on top of the other, or you could take the right foot in front of the left. Lift your hips, push the floor away. Good, rotate the palm to face the front of the mat. Take the arm up and over the head. And now see if you can step the right foot behind the left, lift the hips and reach and lengthen side body. Good, and then big circle with that right arm. Take the hand back down, stepping back, downward dog or vinyasa. Good, pausing there. Take a breath in downward dog. And then we'll do the other side, lifting the left leg up and back. Stepping the left foot forwards through the hands. Putting the right heel down on the floor. Leading with the right arm. Come right up into Virabhadrasana B. Good, hips are heavy. Side body long. Arms extended. Gaze is wherever feels good in your neck. You can close your eyes. And then we'll rotate the palms to face up. Straighten the front leg, lift the arms up. You can heel toe your back foot in slightly for that shorter stance. Practice that hip hinge a couple times. And then left hip draws back, right hip draws forwards. Reach for the front of the mat. Good, spin the chest up. See if you can release the hook of the thumbs, but keep reaching out through those left fingertips. Feel that strength in that left side of the waist. Good, stay there, 2 more breaths. And then exhale, hands to the floor, come to the toes of the back foot. Planting the right hand in front of the right shoulder. Rotating to the outer edge of the right foot. Start by stepping the left foot to the middle of the mat. And then either stepping, keeping the left foot where it is, or stepping it in front of or on top of the right. Push the floor away, lift the hips high. Good, and then rotate through the shoulder, reach the arm up and over the head, and then see if you can step the left foot behind the right. You can bend that right knee a little bit, and then start to straighten as you lengthen the side body. Good, and then big circle with that left arm, take the hand back down, step back, downward dog, or vinyasa, your choice. And then we'll take the knees down to the floor, sit back and take a child's pose. Now I'm really loving this child's pose with the block underneath my forehead, but you could of course take your forehead to the floor. I'm just taking a moment to notice the breath. Noticing sensation in the body, parts of the body that are feeling more alive, more awakened. Maybe noticing if there's parts of the body that still feel a little sleepy. Good, slowly letting the breath soften and settle. And then we'll make our way back towards downward facing dog. Good, if you'd like to take a vinyasa here, you can. And then meeting in downward dog, lift the right leg up and back. Come forwards and see if you can step the right foot to the outside of the left hand. Right foot to the outside of the left hand. So across the body. And then put the left heel down on the floor. The right arm presses into the floor. Inhale, peel the right arm up towards the ceiling. Reach that arm up and over the head. And then take the hand back down to the floor. Come to the toes of the back foot. See if you can square your hips to the front of your mat. So you might feel a lot of sensation in that outer line of your right leg. Good, take one more breath here. And then I want you to see if you can actually slide that right foot out and away and come all the way down onto that outer line of the right leg. Now this might be very challenging for some of us, okay, but do your best to keep that leg as straight as you can. And doing our best to keep the back leg as straight as you can. Now, of course, that back hip is lifted, but we're trying any amount to try to square through the rib cage to the front of the mat. So you might feel a lot of sensation here. Good, one more breath here. And then we're gonna actually bend both knees. So soften a little bit, bend your knees, and then bring your legs into this 90-90 position. So front leg is bent to 90 degrees, back leg is bent to 90 degrees. And if that feels really challenging, you could make the degree of the bend less. So greater than 90 degrees. But whatever you do, I want you to not go less than 90 degrees. So this is no. This is okay, 90 degrees, or a little bit more open is also okay. Okay, so I'm leaning now on my right hand. I want you to take both hands to the floor and see if you can roll that back hip forwards and back. Forwards and back. Now notice if your front knee is lifted off the floor. Mine is a little bit lifted here. So if it's lifted, you could take your blanket and have that underneath your knee. So you have some support underneath that front knee. Okay. And then we'll pause in the middle. So not falling back and not fully forward, somewhere in the middle. And now we're gonna take our rib cage, and I want you to try to do this without your hands. Try to rotate towards the front leg and back towards the back leg. And rotate forwards to the front leg and then back to the back leg. And we'll just do that a couple more times. Good. And then the next time you roll forward, so you're doing your best to square your torso to your front thigh, we're gonna start to fold forwards over the front thigh. Now you can take your fingertips to the floor for a little bit of support. We're going to stay here for about a minute. So we're looking for sensation in the outer right, in the right outer glute, butt muscle, or thigh. And we're looking for it not at such a huge intensity, like maybe somewhere between a 3 to a 5 out of 10, but certainly not a 6 or a 7. That's too intense. We're going to stay for a couple more breaths. Not a couple more breaths, sorry, about another 30 seconds. Good, and you'll know that you went to a good intensity if as you stay, you feel like you could go a little bit deeper and it would still be a 3 to 5. If it feels like you need to back off, then you know you went a little too intense. Good. And then we'll slowly walk the hands back up. If you have that blanket, put it to the side. Press the hands into the floor out in front of you. Start to straighten out the back leg. See if you can tuck the back toes under and then press the hands into the floor. Step back, downward dog. Pause for a breath and then take a vinyasa if you'd like. Great. Okay, now lifting the left leg up and back. Stepping that left foot forwards to the outside of the right hand. Good. Pause there. Put the right heel down on the floor. Press into the left hand. Inhale, peel the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then we'll reach that arm up and over the head. And then take that hand back down to the floor. Come to the toes of the back foot again. And any amount possible, square your hips towards that front of your mat. Now again, this might be quite intense. We're not going to stay for too long, but notice if this side feels more or less intense than the other side. For me, this side is actually much more intense today. Good, and then we're going to slide that foot out to the side a bit more so we can bring that whole outer line of the leg down to the floor. Good, so my back leg is as straight as I can get it. My toes are tucked under. My front leg is as straight as I can get it. And I'm trying to square my torso, my rib cage towards the front of my mat to the best of my ability. And again, there might be a lot of sensation going on. Do your best to breathe into it. You're not going to be here for too long. Good, and then we'll start to bend both the knees and make our way towards that 90-90 shape or bigger than 90-90. So second side, checking again that the front knee is on the floor, and if it's not, then taking your blanket for underneath the knee, rotating that back hip forwards and back, forwards and back. So just feeling that movement through the hip joint. Good. And then we're going to do the next part without the hands. So pausing somewhere in the middle, hands lift, rotate towards the front leg, and then rotate towards the back leg. Rotate to the front leg, rotate to the back leg. Good. Front leg, back leg, front leg, and stay. Fingertips can come to the floor now, and folding any amount over that front thigh, looking for that 3 to 5. So we can really stay here. When we hold sustained stretches, meaning we stay in the stretch for a while, like 1 minute or longer, at a lower intensity, that actually has a greater effect on our fascial length than if we go really intense but can't stay for as long. Both serve a purpose, but when we're holding these longer holds, we want to go less intense. Good. About 20 more seconds. Good, and then we'll slowly just walk the hands forward. So less twist now. Start to straighten out that back leg any amount. Press the hands into the floor. Stepping back, pause for a breath, and then taking a vinyasa if you'd like. Good, and then we'll bend the knees, look forwards to the hands, step walker, float through to sitting. And now we're going to come into Baddha Konasana. So I want you to sit up on the corner of your blanket. So just the corner. So the two sitting bones, the tailbone is on the blanket, and the two sitting bones are kind of dropping off the sides of the blanket. And then feet together, hands behind you, press the floor away. Try to send your belly forwards, lengthen your inner thighs out and away from each other. Good, breathing there. We'll take the right hand out to the side, take the left hand to the middle of the left thigh, just press it away gently, not super intensely, just a little bit. And then we'll switch sides. Little gentle press away. And then back to center. Good, bring your knees together, give your legs, straighten out your legs, give your legs a little shake. And then come to sit, so you're sitting on the flat edge of the blanket. So no longer sitting on the corner, but sitting bones rooting down. Take your right leg out to the side, and then take your left leg into that sort of half Baddha Konasana or half Janu Shirshasana shape. And again, if the knee is lifted here, then use either a block or a cushion, or if you have another blanket, for underneath the knee. Okay, we're going to inhale, lengthen, lift the arms up, flex your right ankle, and then exhale. We're going to take the right hand to the side on the outside of the leg and reach the left arm up and over. And you can use your right hand to keep that left sitting bone rooted. Lengthen, lift, reach. And then we'll inhale and come back up, and exhale and release. Good, you can give the shoulders a little roll. And then we'll switch sides, so straightening out the left leg, take the right foot into that half Janu Shirshasana or half Baddha Konasana shape. Taking the left, or lifting both arms up first, reach. Take the left arm out to the side, reach that right arm up and over, flex your right ankle, so right leg is really active. Use your left hand to keep the sitting bone rooted down into the floor. And then we'll slowly come back up. Give the shoulders a little roll here. And then we're going to switch sides again. Inhale, lengthen, lift the arms. Exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Taking the right hand to the outside of the left knee, palm facing either direction, and then starting to come up and over. Use the hand on the knee to try to draw your breastbone through, lengthen through that side body, reach, 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 reach. One more breath. And then we'll inhale, come back up, and exhale to release. Good, switching sides. Last time. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, twist towards the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Taking the left hand across to the right knee, starting to reach that right arm up and over. Draw the breastbone through as you reach and lengthen. Keeping the left ankle flexed. One more breath. And then inhale to come back up. And exhale to release. Good. Straighten out your legs. Give your legs a little shake. Give your shoulders a little roll. And then we'll make our way down onto our backs. So have your blanket close by. If you have a block, we'll use it for a passive back bend now. So just coming to lie down on your back. If you don't have a block, you could take an active bridge pose instead. That's fine, just a little bit different. Go ahead, lift your hips up, taking the block at whatever height underneath your sacrum, letting your hips be heavy. Take your arms down by the sides and you can close your eyes here. Just starting to let the body soften and melt down into the floor, feeling that support from the block. If you don't have a block, you could also take your blanket underneath your hips just to give your hips a little bit of height. Closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And then if you'd like, we'll take one knee into the chest and then the other. And then starting to straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. And the knees can be bent a little bit. That's totally fine. Just trying to have the legs elevated. You could also have your legs on a chair here if that feels better for you. Taking a few final breaths here, letting everything just drop back down. Good, and we'll bend the knees, taking the feet to the floor. Taking the hips up off the block or the blanket, putting that to the side and coming back down onto the hips. Good. Taking a couple deep breaths into the belly, taking the arms over the head into a cactus shape or out to the sides, taking the hips over to the left, taking the knees to the right, and just taking a gentle twist through the spine. Letting the body be heavy. Melt down into the floor. And then we'll slowly come back towards center. Taking the hips over to the right, taking the knees to the left, taking a gentle twist here. Again, just letting the body be heavy and sink down into the floor. And then we'll slowly come back towards center, starting to straighten out the arms and the legs, moving towards our Shavasana, taking your blanket either for on top of your hips or under your head, letting your whole body be heavy and melt down into the floor. Taking a few breaths and really exhaling. If there's sound that wants to come out of your body, let the sound come out. Letting everything melt and release, soften and let go. Good. Soften and let go. Exhale and release. In a moment, I'm going to stop the recording, but I encourage you to please stay here for as long as you'd like, as long as feels supportive for you in your practice. Acknowledging all of your efforts this morning and sending the benefits of our practice out to all the beings in the world. Have a beautiful day and namaste.